Hi, we're Al and Paris Yanno, and this is our story. We have a real heart for children. We have 3 biological children of our own, and we've always wanted to foster and adopt kids. And so we had 2 kids that were a part of our ministry that were in a situation where they needed to have a family. They needed someone to take them in. So we took them in, and this is what caused us to think, oh, we need to get our foster parenting license. And so we went ahead and did that. And before you knew it, we ended up adopting those 2 children. And so we had 5 kids at that time. And so we were done. We were happy. We had a big family. And we get this phone call from Children's Services asking us if we would do respite for a 14-year-old young man named Jaquan. And so we said, sure, we'll take him in. So he was with us for 1 week, and we fell in love with Jaquan. After that, he was over every weekend, and God began to lay upon our hearts that, you know what, you need to adopt him. And so we did. We adopted Jaquan, and he was actually 17 years old when we got to adopt him.
You would think that this was the perfect picture and it came to a perfect happy ending. But children that are often going through foster care and adoption are children that have been hurting. They've had quite a difficult past and everything's new to them, and so there's many challenges involved. One of the challenges that we discovered is that some of our children had challenges surrounding attachment, which means basically that they really wanted to be with their biological family and they had a hard time accepting us as their family and accepting our love. As an adoptive parent and a foster parent, you get this attitude that if I'll just love this child enough and if we'll just provide the perfect environment for them, then they'll love us back and everything will be magical and perfect. It doesn't always work out that way. And what I had to realize, and we had to realize, that this whole experience of adoption and foster care was not about us. It was about this child that needed a family and that needed God's love. And once we got to that point where we understood that we don't have to have love reciprocated to us to demonstrate God's love, that even at times when it's difficult to love a child, if we will just be obedient and love that child the way Christ loved us, even while we were yet sinners, then this child's life can be redeemed, and this child can have a home, and this child can have security. And so we had to learn not to make it about us and our happiness, but to make it about the happiness and the future and the potential of the child that God called us to. When you get a grasp on that, then you understand that foster care is a ministry very similar to Christ and how he loved us.
Yeah, and you know, one of the highlights, I think, of being a foster mom for me was when we had told Jaquan that we were going to adopt him. And I was driving him in the car after that, and he said to me, he says, Mom, he goes, when I first went into foster care, I prayed every night that God would give me a family that would love me. And he said, when I became 13 years old, he says, I stopped praying that because I knew nobody would want me now that I'm older. And he says, you know, God answered my prayer. And so that's our story. So now you write your story.